Hey, how y'all doing? This is Hunt 919, The Truth to Sports. I hope everybody's doing okay. I want to attack a quick topic that I came up with. I created a three-part series called Coach Prime and the Dress, but why? And I had not a lot of people because the views is not high on it. There's only a couple of comments, but there was some comments that was left that I felt like I needed to talk about, only because it kind of creates or gets to the point that I wanted to make. Because as I say, I like to be insightful, do things a little different, even though it's still connected to sports and Coach Prime. It's not a lot to talk about right now because of the it's basically the preseason of college football, basically getting in shape, et cetera, et cetera. So people are responding in ways that I don't understand, and it kind of makes my point of me wanting to create insight and conversations with some of these topics. So I want to get right into it. Okay, one of the people, or a couple of people in my comment section, saying I was putting the black man down, which was mind-boggling to me. Because for one, I'm not putting anybody down. I purposely in part one said that this would not be a disrespectful conversation. I purposely, at first, I had on all part threes, I had Coach Prime's picture, in the emoji type section to draw you to the video. But I went back and took it out because I was like, wait a minute, he's not even in the first two parts, because I'm talking about other athletes. So I didn't single him out, and I put him on the part three because that's the one that actually talked about Coach Prime, man. So let me, I just want to go over 10 quick things. This won't be a long conversation that I really want to talk to people who may listen to this, or people who may respond to this, and especially to the people who already responded to it, and to black men, because my point was, let's create a conversation about why. It wasn't blaming him. Well, let me get into it. First and foremost, I'm a fan of Coach Prime. I have been since he's been active in sports. I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan. It's my favorite team. He played for Dallas. I'm an Atlanta Braves fan. He played for Atlanta. Those are the teams that I fell in love with, because that's what my dad watched growing up. I grew up in the state of North Carolina, so I think it was WTBS. I can't remember the stations, but it wasn't but so many stations back then. So I liked them, and that's why I liked it. And then when he joined them, I really liked them because I'm a Deion fan. Now, when I talked about Deion, I didn't put anything saying don't support him, he's terrible, look at what he did, etc., etc. I never attacked him personally. It was just a question of why, because we're all black men. Some of us are athletes or ex-athletes, and so it was a legit question. Again, I didn't say don't support the man. I support him. Even now, I don't like some of the things he does as far as coaching. And I think you need people like that in your circle. You don't need people in your circle that's going to always tell you yes, or yeah, everything you're doing is right. Sometimes you need a person to question what you're doing. Sometimes they'll make you think about it, because what I've been told is if you have all yes men around you, that's a terrible group to have, because they're going to lead you right to destruction. I'm the type of friend that will support you thick and thin, in and out. Anybody who knows me knows that about. I'm not a hater at all. But some things are thrown in your face, and you have to talk about it, and you have to ask why. For one, again, I'm saying I'm a fan. Even back in the day, his Deion shoes were actually, we used to call them cross trainers. They had the big strap over them, and it's like at the beginning of the cross trainer when they started to come into effect, and of course he made it popular. I did get a pair of them. I didn't wear them long because I wasn't really into the cross trainer. I was more into the Jordans and the basketball type shoe back then, and so I didn't really last with it long. But I remember when those came out, I supported him, from day one in ways that I could. But I would lie to you if it didn't tear me up seeing him in a dress of all people. And did it bother me? Yes. Did I take it personal? No. Did I attack him for it? No. Did I talk down about him? No. My thing was why. And I wanted to create a healthy conversation amongst black men, but anybody, black, white, or whatever. The reason I keep saying black is because, he's black. He's a black male. He's a strong black male. So seeing him in a dress dress, seeing him dance on stage, singing like a virgin and pulling his skirt up in the front. Why can't I ask why? You don't think if that was, just think about this, if that was your dad in real life, to the people in the comments and the people who may listen to this, who may not like what I'm doing or talking about, you wouldn't ask your dad why? You wouldn't ask if it was a family friend, if they had a kid or something. Hey, man, why'd your dad put on the dress? And hey, it may be a great reason. But all I asked was why. If you listen to any of the videos, I did not put anybody down. I talked about what's already out there, and I visually showed you why I said the things that I said. That's why part 1 and part 2 is so important, because I know people was going to jump right to Coach Prime, but I talked more than about Coach Prime. I talked about different situations. I even went back to slavery days. So you got to really listen to it and dig into it. Everything can't always be sports, because all of the channels that cover him, they all talk about the same things. Okay. Do I like some of them? Yes, I do. I even made a video about ones to follow, but all of them just copy from each other. Not saying I don't copy some topics and I try to flip it from my thought process, but I wanted to talk about something different that's more thought provoking than just football. Okay. And some people cannot adjust when you get away from the norm. And that's what my channel is about. That's one of the reasons I have the word truth in it, because I'm going to be truthful about it respectfully. Now, I'm not going to come up here and intentionally disrespect anybody, even if that has to do anything with the truth. So let's get back to this. Again, I didn't come up with this information. I didn't make it up. I didn't do no hardcore investigation and found some secrets. It was already out there on YouTube. It had already been talked about. It just came back up now that, he's a big deal again, to be honest with you. So that's why I did that. I didn't put a dress on. He did. It's like they want to blame me that he put a dress on. I didn't go up on stage and sing in front of millions of people. He did that. And I didn't single him out. I didn't just go after or talk about Deion. I talked about at least 10 other athletes. And you can go back in part 1 and part 2 and look at those people. And some of those people, most, of course, they're famous, but some of them are still active, whether it's in sports or whether it's in the sports caster industry. They're still active. So my question was, so again, I did not single him out. I talked about other athletes. I did not say anything disrespectful to him at all. I did not make fun of it, nor did I bully. You didn't hear me laughing about it. You didn't hear me going off and just, why would he do this, et cetera, et cetera. I just posed that same question that I always ask, is why. I even posted to myself, I think it was in part 1 and part 2, would I do it? And the people in the comments and the people who may listen, ask yourself, would you do it? And I'm gonna answer it just like this. And I did answer the question, and I think it was part 1 and part 2, and I quoted Charleston White. So I'm going to flip it this way. Let's say I'm a thousandaire on my own. I'm in sports broadcasting, whatever I'm doing. I make good money and I'm a thousandaire. And somebody came to me and said, listen, if you want to up your career, if you want to make double, triple the money, you need to do this. We need to put a dress on you because we like to emasculate the black male, of course. And would you do it? Yes, you make thousands on your own. You are a thousandaire, but you're not a millionaire. Would I do it? And I can honestly say no. If I'm comfortable and I'm a thousandaire that I made on my own, and I got to jump up to make some millions and to put on the dress, no, I can't do it. I have a daughter. I know my daughter look at me crazy. I got nieces and nephews, and I want you all, and I really want to pose this question to you all: if your father came in, or your grandfather, any male figure that you truly respect, how would you feel if you saw them put on the dress and dance around for whatever reason they're doing it? You want to ask them why? So that's why in the title I have why. I'm not putting anybody down, and I know it's a legit question, and we can have an educated conversation about it without accusing each other of putting another black man down, which I didn't and would never do. But listen, black men don't do everything correctly, so we can all be put down sometime or put in our place, including myself. So these are things that we all need to think about. And I will always ask the question why, respectfully ask it why. And if I ever met him in person, of course, I would shake his hand. I'm a Deion fan. That's not being fake. Now, if he set me down, like we had a real conversation, he was like, hey, man, I seen some of the stuff you put on YouTube. Be real about why'd you put this up about me? I'm not scared to talk to him and tell him exactly why I said it in a respectful manner, in a grown man manner. We need to start having more thought-provoking conversations instead of just hut, football, touchdown pass. No, some things are deeper than that. And I also want you all to remember this. I speak from the perspective of the players. Okay, yes, I was a coach and I was a player. I've won championships too, so don't tell me I don't know how to win. I've won on the high school level. We did fall one game short of the state championship, but we did win conference championships. I had a good high school career. I was actually nominated for the All-American team. It ended up going to Rodney Rogers from my area. Rodney Rogers ended up playing at Wake Forest University. He went pro he had a nice long pro career. I did go to the junior college ranks. We was ranked 16th in the nation. We won our conference championship. We won the region championship, and we made it to the national junior college tournament. And I played in that, and I was one of the top players in the nation at that time. And then I come back and went to a Division I school, mid-major Division I school, and we made the NCAA tournament following the second time in their school's history, and they still haven't been back since. And we won the conference championship when I was there as well. So on every level, I've won to some capacity. My high school contacted me. They wanted to put me into the Hall of Fame. I was also put into my JUCO's Hall of Fame at that school. I was the second person, the first person in the history of that school to lead my team in total rebounds and total points. And that school produced some ex-NBA players and some high Division I players that went there. Nate McMillan was one of them, just to throw, and there's some other names, I just can't remember them all. So yes, I do know how to win. And my coach at junior college, he admired Bob Knight. He actually read Bob Knight books, and that's how he approached the game. So I know how to deal with a tough coach. So nothing was given to me. Nothing was easy. So don't start saying, oh, you never played, blah, blah, blah. I have played. Now, did I play at Coach Prime's level? No. 99.9% of us didn't play at his level. Actually, he might be the only one that played at that level. Did I make the pros? No. Doesn't mean I don't know what I'm talking about. Doesn't mean I don't know locker rooms. Doesn't mean I don't know players. Doesn't mean I don't know the game. So I just want to throw all of that out there before everybody start digging too deep, and I can handle whatever comes back from this. But it's a more thought-provoking conversation that I wanted to have about why do we allow ourselves to be emasculated. And it may be a legit reason. It may be like, listen, man, I needed that 5, 10, 20 million. Okay. All right. And the same thing can happen. I know it happened to other nationalities, but I'm talking about black right now, of course. And do I hold anything against them? Nope. Am I going to support him now? Yep. I'm still going to watch those channels. I'm going to tune into every game. I don't care if it comes on late. I'm going to watch every game. I'm going to root for him when he's winning, and when he's down, I'm going to try to figure out why, through my channel. Well, this is why they lost. This is why they can get better, et cetera, et cetera. So I just wanted to respond back to some of the things that was thrown at me. I appreciate every single comment. I don't expect all of them to be positive. Not saying that they're negative. They're really saying what they feel. So nobody was really disrespectful. And I appreciate a couple of you who did respond. I love the comments when they come in because I do work hard on these. That's why I took a little break. I try to do a little research before I release something. I just don't just put it out there. And I don't like to talk too long. That's why I break it up in segments. And then this little app I use, it's the studio that I use won't allow me to go over 15 minutes anyway. So I think it's thought provoking. I wanted to answer back to some of the people who responded to me. I appreciate you all responding to me, and now we can keep a good conversation going. That's what it's all about anyway. We don't have to be negative. We don't have to agree, but we also don't have to disrespect anybody. I won't disrespect you, and I won't disrespect Coach Prime, because at the end of the day, I respect what he's doing. I was just a little confused at why a man of God and a leader of men like he is, especially with all the men he's helped from, coaching them in sports, including his sons, why would he end up in a dress like that, especially when it doesn't seem like he had to. He was highly successful in sports. He was also created his own rap album. I know he did a little work with Death Row, et cetera, et cetera. But I appreciate you all. This has been Hunt 919 Truth Sports. Ride with me.